Տարիների ընթացքում ձեռք եք բերում սեփականություն, կուտակում եք մեծ գումարներ, իսկ մտածել եք, թե ինչ է լինելու դրանց հետ ապագայում։ Լավագույն որակավորում ունեցող իրավաբան Մարիա Պրիմուշկոն իր բազմամյա հաջողակ փորձով կօգնի ձեզ ժառանգության փոխանցման, կտակ կազմելու եւ ձեր ունեցվածքն ապահով պահելու հարցում։ Estate planning, bankruptcy, personal injury եւ այլ իրավական հարցերով դիմեք MVP Law Group։ Ձեր ընտանիքի ապագան կախված է այսօրվա կայացրած որոշումից։ 818 788 7881
Good evening, dear friends. You're watching MVP Law Group show and its host, Maria Premushko, also an attorney, as you know. Well, during this show, as you know, we discuss important legal issues relevant to our communities. And today we are live, so keep that in mind. You have an amazing opportunity to ask questions during our live show. You can call 844-404-0808 and ask me questions directly. Hopefully I'll be able to answer, and if it's more detailed questions, you will be able to arrange something for our future conversation. We'll get your number. So I'm happy to report that people are watching. I've been stopped by a couple of people, one at the Armenian store, another at the restaurant, and people ask me, "Hey, Maria, is it you that I see when I come back home and eat my dinner?" I'm like, "Yes, that's me." And they actually, both of them thanked me for discussing and bringing up these important issues that are they've never seen discussed before, specifically on any Armenian TV or TV that they're watching at least. So I know that people are shy, and our people are shy in this situation. You don't want to call in live. So just in case, if you have a question, but you're shy to call, that's okay. You can call my office directly. And as you know, to Horizon TV viewers, I offer 30-minute complimentary free consultation. We'll be able to discuss your specific issues. I'll be able to give my answers. What are the possibilities for your specific family, and you'll make a decision if you want to do anything about it or not. But as you know, the future of your family depends on the decisions you make today. So please give us a call. So during last show, we discussed bankruptcy protection issue, the ways you can protect yourself using bankruptcy, and what type of chapters you can use, etc. We'll get back to that subject later on. Today, we're discussing something very, very important and very sensitive: special needs planning for children. I'm mother of 3 children, and I know how it is hard to raise children in general. And I can't even imagine how hard it is to raise a child who has special needs, who is just either not like everybody else, who is having health issues, psychological issues, mobility issues, any type of situation. And for parents often are humiliated. They gave birth. Of course, that's not it's not the answer. It is hard. It is 5 times harder to raise this child than regular child. And what we call regular, it is a child, and you love them, you want to provide for them, you want them to be as effective in our society as possible. So what can be done? In our planning, we can create a special needs trust for our child, and you can start doing that while they're still minors. If you know that your child is not regular, needs special attention, and will most likely need special attention in the future, and maybe you're already receiving some government assistance or disability for the child, beware. When they reach the age of 18 years old, become adults, they will have to qualify for government assistance by themselves. And if no planning is done for them, and if parents in the future pass, die, and you have certain assets, your special needs child may become eligible to inheritance. And what happens in that case? In that case, your child will lose all government assistance until all the funds that he or she received as inheritance been drained for their care. Just think how hard it is. You know, we know medical care is extra expensive everywhere nowadays, and specifically for children like that. So you as a parent can be responsible and make sure that you not only now protect your child, your special child, your sunshine child, but you know that in the future they will be protected by you as well. Very important issue. So what type of disabilities work? Any type, as I mentioned. It could be psychological, it could be physical, any type. So you can call me, we'll discuss this very sensitive issue, and we'll decide what specific plan is best for your child in the future. So it is necessary, because we don't know that if government assistance in the future will last. You know, nowadays with this economy, we don't know if anything will last for a while. Then we don't know if that assistance is sufficient for your child. For example, government assistance will not cover extra care, implants for teeth, good ones, vacation for the child, going somewhere for the holidays, getting something extra such as electronics, computer to work on to play games, whatever it is that makes your child happy and that you know that will be needed. Then, so the ways that the special needs trust can be structured, it could be done two ways. You can create a special needs child for a separate special needs trust for your child and fund it accordingly, or you can create a testamentary trust. So within your estate planning document, within your trust, we will say that if something happens to me and I pass away, then my child will not receive inheritance to his or her name, but the special needs trust will be created and funded, so inheritance will go straight from your estate to that special needs trust for your child. So that way, you're certain that government will not take the benefits from your child. You know that your child will continue receiving all kinds of assistance, and that special needs trust will supplement all the necessities, everything that your child may need in the future. As I mentioned, they wouldn't mind extra vacation, maybe a car. Even if they don't drive, they may need a transportation so they can drive in a nice vehicle, or they can have remodeling in their house, whatever is necessary. Also, so what has to be, when you create, so these types of testamentary trusts usually created when your child is still minors. But if your child is already adult, over the age of 18 years old, you may think about creating that special needs trust separate. Of course, if you have money to fund it. Because, I want to tell you a story, because I'm very sensitive about it. First, I have friends who have special needs children, and we're trying to help. And second, at one point, I was approached by very sketchy attorneys. Unfortunately, it happens sometimes. And what I was offered is to create, please listen carefully, create special needs trusts where parents will devise everything they have, the inheritance, not to the child, but to the agency, service provider who will take care of the child. You know these service providers, healthcare agencies that take children with disabilities, adult children, people with disabilities, take care of them, taking them to various activities, providing medical cares if necessary, entertainment, etc. So what I was offered is to create the trust where all the money will go to that facility for care of that child. For me, as an attorney, it is a red flag. So what they wanted me to do is to transfer money from parents, if they pass, to that agency instead of to that child. And for me, it's a huge ethical dilemma. I want to think that people are doing the best, whatever they can do for these people, disabled people. But for me as an attorney, I can see a red flag that I don't know how much longer that child will live after his or her parents pass, so that agency can inherit all the money. So please beware about all the schemes that are going around there, because when people know that family is dealing with a special need child with a special need care, they will be ready to do anything to protect their children. And sometimes people sign documents without understanding and without knowing what exactly in it. So please be extra cautious. And if you decide of doing something, please don't do anything without at least consulting with an attorney. And I'll be happy to assist, of course. Then, both trusts, both special needs trusts, testamentary and separate special needs trust, have to have proper language. If the trust doesn't have the language, specific legal terms that have to go into it, it may not work. So please also beware where you're drafting those documents, because it just may not work. It has to be very specific and with proven record that government agencies do accept that language. Next, we have to fund those trusts. We can create a document, it's fine, it's beautiful, but it will not mean anything until you fund it. What can it be funded with? Well, of course, when we create a testamentary trust, it's usually whatever you created, your wealth that you've created throughout your life. You're saying that certain portion of it, or 100%, whatever you choose, will fund, when you die, it will go to the special needs trust and fund it with whatever amount you've earned at the time of your death. Or very often techniques are used is having life insurance policies. I stress it all the time, even for regular families, families with children without any disabilities, that you have to have life insurance in order to protect the future of your loved ones. But for our families with special needs, children with special children, it is a must, written all over the place. So you have to have life insurance. By the way, during one of our future shows, I will bring some professionals. I will bring life insurance agent who will be able to answer questions and explain why it is needed and what are the various possibilities of getting life insurance. Of course, that life insurance cannot be termed, well, it can, it's cheaper, but it makes little sense because we don't know how much longer we will live. That is why, the regular life insurance and is the best scenario, because definitely that if and when you pass, that insurance will fund your child's trust and your child will be protected for the future. And for parents, that's the most important thing. Excuse me? Okay, yeah, I was just advised that we're about to start our commercial, so we'll see you soon.
Տարիների ընթացքում ձեռք եք բերում սեփականություն, կուտակում եք մեծ գումարներ, իսկ մտածել եք, թե ինչ է լինելու դրանց հետ ապագայում։ Լավագույն որակավորում ունեցող իրավաբան Մարիա Պրիմուշկոն իր բազմամյա հաջողակ փորձով կօգնի ձեզ ժառանգության փոխանցման, կտակ կազմելու եւ ձեր ունեցվածքն ապահով պահելու հարցում։ Estate planning, bankruptcy, personal injury եւ այլ իրավական հարցերով դիմեք MVP Law Group։ Ձեր ընտանիքի ապագան կախված է այսօրվա կայացրած որոշումից։ 818 788 7881
Hello, we're back with MVP Law Group show. You guys are so silent today. I guess everybody's fascinating what I'm saying. So, funding, life insurance, retirement accounts. If you have pension plan, 401k, usually you list beneficiaries who will receive the money when you pass. Please make sure that you do not list your special child as a beneficiary, as a straight beneficiary, because as I told you before, they will lose the government benefits. So very important to review all of your documents. If your family facing this issue, or you know someone who is dealing with it, please reach out to them and tell them that how important it is to plan for the future, and at least in one thing you have peace of mind. Parents with special needs children worry all the time. What's going to happen today, tomorrow, at school? School, it's another nightmare they're dealing with. But at least with one subject, with one issue, you will know to a certain extent, of course, that you've done everything that you could to protect your child in the future, okay? Please be aware of that. So creating special needs trusts eliminates kind of the old school planning that we use for regular families, or what used to be done for special needs kids. Because before, I've seen the situations, and I've heard as parents of these children are advised to disinherit special needs child. You know, you disinherit them to make sure that they continue receiving government assistance. But why doing so if you can do something legally, continue receiving government assistance, and at the same time providing for your child in the future? Then also another technique was used is that, okay, we disinherit our special child and give our inheritance to our, let's say, two other kids who have no issues. That way, we trust our kids that they will take care of our son Johnny, who is special. Well, again, we want to trust our kids. We're all loving families, but you're placing, first of all, a huge burden on your child, making sure that they take care of little Johnny, but they may not want it, or that child can be placed in a situation where they have creditors. Maybe there is a lawsuit coming after them. Maybe they're getting divorced, and they now have the money that you think belonged to little Johnny, that they have to take care for him with this money, but they have no way of protecting this money, this amount. So it can be taken from them by creditors. Thus, you're putting too much burden on your child who is supposed to take care of Johnny, and Johnny is out of money. So please be aware of those techniques. They're usually not effective. And all the, just a second. So please be aware of those techniques, because they may become ineffective and they can hurt both of your kids or all of your kids, and you won't have that peace of mind. And what has to be done? What do you have to think about while planning for the special needs child? You have to think, when we create this type of plans, we have several, it's more extensive planning than the regular trust, because we have several meetings, both with both parents, separately with each parent. We have 2 or 3 meetings with us, because we have to arrange all these possible scenarios, choose the right people who will take care of our child. For example, you can choose you can choose the committee who will be advising the trustee who will manage the funds for your child, what to do, what type of care is needed. If it's a psychological care, if it is physical care, medical care, what type of exercise is needed, what type of activities needed, what kind of learning curves have to be achieved on a regular basis. So everything has to be thought of. Now you are stuck. People, I know parents of special needs children, they're stuck with everyday routine. We have to go to speech therapist. We have to make sure that school IEP, they follow through what they promised, that they have transportation, that they provide this extra teacher. So we, special needs parents, are stuck with routine of everyday life. What I'm offering is an opportunity to look further, to make sure that you look further and you have future for your child, not just everyday activities. So you appoint the committee where they look at the medical care, at the diagnosis, what's going on with the child at this particular moment, and what has to be done now. In addition, so we're receiving government assistance, and in addition to government assistance, what else has to be provided for the child for his or her best care, so they thrive and hopefully have potential to expand what they can do with their condition. Also, there could be a care manager. Also, that is usually one person. It could be a relative, or it could be a professional hired to do that. Again, also, so it could be a committee, it could be just a manager who will take care of everyday child's activities, what has to be done, and what type of activity or care has to be supplemented in addition to the government assistance. Then, of course, you have to name a trustee who is responsible for money part, right? As usual, I prefer having 2 or even 3 people responsible for various tasks to make sure that everything is done to protect your child's future. Because unfortunately, we're all people, and even best people make bad decisions and placed in a position where they have to make that bad decision. Maybe they're not happy with it, they feel guilty, but it is done. And special needs person, adult usually at this point, cannot protect themselves. They don't know better. They don't know where to go, where to complain, and who reach for help. So that's why we're having special people responsible for your child. Maybe they will receive compensation, maybe not. It depends on your funds, on how much you gave to that trust. That's where you remember that life insurance comes into play. That's why it's so important. Right now, the younger you are, the family, as soon as you find out that you have that special child, and nowadays, unfortunately, I mean, you know that how many kids are born with various conditions, especially autistic kids. Many of them are able to overcome it and being high functional, but still they may need assistance, they may need help. And as soon as you find out that you have that special child that you love, that you want to make the best for him or her, you have to get that life insurance in place. And you'll have to budget your life. You'll have to make sure that everything is done towards reaching the goal of protecting the child, but of course not overlooking other kids that you have. We love them all, but of course there's the special fear for this special child. Uh, what else? We've discussed the planning for everyone. Yes. The right thing provides for everyone comprehensively. So I wanted to tell another story. Uh, I received a call. Remember, I told you that I'm not going to just teach you what to do, but also give you the story. And this one's coming is a bit sad story because I received a call from the adult lady who's that special needs person. She's adult, and she told me, "Hey, Maria, I received an inheritance of $80,000. Not a big deal, right? But she received that inheritance and she didn't know what to do because she's receiving this her government. She's on Medi-Cal, she's receiving disability, she's receiving something else, special housing, etc. And now, unfortunately, at that moment, I couldn't do anything for her because she had to. She was kicked out from all of these programs, and she had to spend every penny of that $80,000 of inheritance, and then reapply for benefits. And that's how it's done. Unfortunately, it is the system we're living in, and we'll have to play the game. So you, as a parent, have to be responsible for your child's life. All right. So that's about it. I wanted to. Hopefully, you understand. First, if you have that child in your family, or you have relatives who have this issue, you know your friends who are dealing with it, who are living this hard life, make your life and their lives easier by at least having that peace of mind, knowing that they went through all the steps to protect their family, kids with no issues or disabilities, and that special needs child for the future. It will keep peace in your family, understanding that future is available for your child, and you've done everything you could to protect them. Okay, so that's about it. Now I wanted to. Still, nobody's calling. That's okay. You're shy today. I wanted to discuss with you what other programs we're going to have. As I told you, I'm bringing an insurance agent to the program to discuss possible scenarios and what kind of policies are available and which are the best for certain situations. So I'll ask questions, she'll answer, etc. Then we're also going to go back to bankruptcy, because after the program, the phones were ringing, people asking questions, and since we already in progress for one of the cases. Also, we are going to discuss asset protection for planning for asset protection for the families that have businesses that have higher net worth. Let's say you have a house, you have several rental properties, you have business, you have LLC or corporation. You have to think about future and possible creditors' claims, and you want to secure your assets for the future and make them inaccessible for the creditors. Also, very important, we're going to talk about business succession planning. These are for all of our viewers who are professionals: CPA, attorney, medical provider, doctor, chiropractor, dental doctor. You guys, you worked hard, you studied hard, you passed all these tests and licenses. You've built your practice. Now you have to protect it. What happens if you're not there anymore? What happens if you're disabled? What happens if you have heart attack, if you have a stroke, if you mentally went somewhere, right? Anything can happen. So what happens to your business, to that LLC, to that corporation, to all of your clientele? Who will take care of them? So very important, because right now I'm dealing with the situation where I work with the doctor for my personal injury cases, and he passed away, healthy, young man passed away, and now they don't know what to do. There was no planning, and his old stuff is unaware what's going to be next. There are patients, there are clients, there are vendors. And now they'll have to deal with all of that. So I urge everybody to watch those programs. And what else? We'll discuss something else. In the future, it's going to be important, it's going to be informative, and hopefully it is somewhat entertaining. So I'm going to finish with that. Thank you so much for watching MVP Law Group show, and we'll be in touch. Call me.
Տարիների ընթացքում ձեռք եք բերում սեփականություն, կուտակում եք մեծ գումարներ, իսկ մտածել եք, թե ինչ է լինելու դրանց հետ ապագայում։ Լավագույն որակավորում ունեցող իրավաբան Մարիա Պրիմուշկոն իր բազմամյա հաջողակ փորձով կօգնի ձեզ ժառանգության փոխանցման, կտակ կազմելու եւ ձեր ունեցվածքն ապահով պահելու հարցում։ Estate planning, bankruptcy, personal injury եւ այլ իրավական հարցերով դիմեք MVP Law Group։ Ձեր ընտանիքի ապագան կախված է այսօրվա կայացրած որոշումից։ 818 788 7881